This is the best sport in the world, and you cannot convince me otherwise. What an unbelievable game seven. The LA Dodgers are your World Series champ. They are the first team in the 21st century to win back-to-back World Series. They're the first team to do it since the 98 through 2000 New York Yankees, and they are the first National League team to do it since the Big Red Machine. Yoshinobu Yamamoto might have the biggest stones on planet Earth, regardless of sports. He just did something that was last done by Randy Johnson in 2001. That's pitch in game seven after going 7 innings in game six. The LA Dodgers are your World Series champions. This was, I think, the game of our lifetimes. This was the best baseball game given the magnitude I think I've ever watched, Peter Apple. By the way, who we brought to you by?
BetMGM, the king of sports books. Remember, folks, download BetMGM, whether that be on iOS or Android, and use promo code JustBaseball if you want. First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bets. If your first wager loses, just remember, gambling problem, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 years or older. Terms and conditions apply. Ad read over.
Ad read over.
Ad read over. I'm so glad you started the episode with, this is the greatest sport. What a game. Because I think you're right. It's tough recording right after and making a statement as if this is the greatest game, because it's like, it's so in your face and it's so right now, because I think of game 3 in this very series. Even the game that between the Mariners and the Tigers. I mean, the both of those two are better than that game, but this was an unbelievable battle of two titans. The Blue Jays did everything. I mean, we're going to talk about it. They did make some mistakes at the end, but they gave it their all. You went toe-to-toe with what I believe to be the best team of my lifetime. And it looked like I was proven wrong because of how good the Blue Jays were. But the fact is that the Dodgers were able to find it still and win this series. And I will stand on this. This might not even be something that Dodgers fans want to hear, but I think they agree with it. They didn't play well this series. They didn't play that well. That's how good they are.
The number of articles that I read in The Athletic and ESPN.com, like the number of outlets I saw say the Dodgers' flaws are being exposed right now and it's going to bite them in the ass. Guess what? It didn't. And they won the World Series. They needed heroics from Miguel Rojas, but they won the World Series, brother.
I switched my prediction yesterday. I said, I'm hedging. I think the Blue Jays got this. They have been playing better the entire series. Their bats coming into this game wasn't great. 103 WRC plus in the playoffs. The Dodgers hit 191 in this series. 191 with a 73 WRC plus. But it didn't matter in the end, did it? Because the Dodgers are truly, and I know this is a cliche, but it is a fact, they are inevitable.
And they earned this one. I think Blue Jay fans would tell you, to your point, they had every opportunity to win this game. They had every opportunity to win the World Series. What I would counter with is this series as a whole, and this game in particular, felt like neither team deserved to lose. Felt like neither team deserved to have their heart ripped out of their chest. I felt I was going to feel bad for either side. Yes. I feel worse for Toronto because LA just won it last year. And like, you know what, a back-to-back, a dynastic thing. This is their third title since 2020. Yeah. That is really cool. But if you get the chance to win a World Series for a country, you were the only team in that country for the first time in 32 years, I'm going to like just naturally be a little bit more gung-ho, happy, peppy about it. But this was so well-deserved for the Dodgers, and I feel terrible for the Blue Jays. If it was reversed, I would feel terrible for the Dodgers because they just had all 4 starting pitchers pitch in Game 7. Yamamoto went on 0 days rest.
The javelins. Just every kid now growing up in Little League is going to be chucking javelins. You're going to see 9-year-olds doing handstands in the dugout. This guy, we said yesterday, I would take Skeens and I would take Skubal, and Yamamoto has a Pretty good argument for the third best pitcher in baseball. What are we going to say now? What are we going to say now? I mean, if you give Skeens an opportunity to do that, if you give Skubal an opportunity to do that, do they do it? I don't know. But what makes it even more incredible for Yamamoto, this offense is so good. This Blue Jays offense is so prolific. From 1 to 9, everybody's battling. Andres Jimenez, another big hit in this game. He comes up with runners in scoring position. I think he finished 8 for 19. There was no breaks. Ernie Clement set the postseason record with 30 hits. To do it across this lineup, because it's not just coming in on 0 days rest. It's doing it against this lineup in the Rogers Center. His Game 6 start in the Rogers Center. We saw how unbelievable that crowd is. The Blue Jays were the best home team in baseball. What a performance. I don't have the vocabulary to properly give him his flowers. I don't. I don't even know how to put it into words how unbelievable that performance was from him.
Build the statue right now. Give him a plaque somewhere in that ballpark. That guy just immediately secured himself a spot in Dodger lore forever. He is immortal in the eyes of Dodger fans at this point because of what he just did. A, over 26 hours in Game 6 and Game 7, but B, when you bake in a complete game in Game 2, this guy is immortal in Dodger lore now. And I love that. And he better be the World Series MVP. They're announcing right now. I see Kevin Burkhardt on the stage, and you've got the Dodgers in their World Series t-shirts here. So we'll see if Yamamoto is the World Series MVP. But there's really no world where he can't be.
I did vote because you could vote on the World Series MVP. As soon as Miguel Rojas hit that home run, I voted for him.
You just slapped him in there.
I was like, that home run. Like, I'm curious. We're live on YouTube now. Thank you, everybody, to joining us. And if we could quickly ask, smash the like button if you're liking the show so far. I really want to ask Dodger fans, because one of my best friends from home called me after Rojas hit that home run, and he said he started kissing strangers at the sports bar he was watching. And he was comparing it to his feelings when Freddie Freeman hit that walk-off home run against the Yankees, the walk-off grand slam last year. And he said this was a different feeling. Both your emotions are off the roof, right? But this one, that had a Rajai Davis type of feel to it. The only game I can really compare this to is the 2016 Game 7 Cubs-Indians. Those are the only two games in my mind of best games I've ever watched. This was a fight on both sides. You got starting pitchers coming in on both sides. You got bench players. You got Andy Pages, Dave Roberts pushing the exact right buttons to start Rojas again. Then he gets that big home run, takes Tommy Edman out, puts Andy Pages in, makes that unbelievable play. This was a chess match. This was power on both sides. This was defense on both sides. This was everything. This is why we love baseball. This was unbelievable.
Dave Roberts managed his ass off, and we're going to get to that. Are you ready for the longest recap that I've ever written on this show?
I can't wait.
So here it goes. Okay, let me scroll all the way to the top. And action. Right away, the Blue Jays applied pressure on Shohei Ohtani. In the first inning, Ohtani got out of it on a base-running gaff from George Springer. On a strike him out, throw him out with Vladdy at the plate. I have no idea what Springer was doing. We'll talk about that. In the second, the Jays should have played in the first round of the game on an Ernie Clement single, but Bo Bichette on his bad knee couldn't test Teoscar Hernandez on a single to right field. Ohtani stranded the bases low to the hitter later by getting Andres Jimenez to punch out. But in the third, that's when the Blue Jays broke through. I thought Bo Bichette had the swing of the night, blasting a 3-run home run to straightaway Central in possibly his final game as a Blue Jay. And the admiration of the homer, the cold look, just stare off into the distance from him, the hug for the guy he's been teammates with since A-Ball and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. after he touched the plate, everything about it was poetry. Note from the great Sarah Langs, his 442-foot home run, the third longest home run of Bo Bichette's career, his longest since 2023, the third longest he's ever hit in the big leagues. But the Dodgers got a run back in the fourth on a sac fly from Teoscar Hernandez. Caveat there, Dalton Varsho laid out to take a double at least away from him. Amazing play from Dalton Varsho, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. kept the damage off the board further with a diving grab on a line out down the first base line to end the threat. Bottom of the fourth was an eventful piece of this game. After throwing his hand at a pitch high and tight, one offering prior, Andres Jimenez got pinged with a high and tight heater from Justin Robleski and apparently thought Robleski had every intention of putting Jimenez in immense pain and putting a runner on in Game 7 of the World Series. That was an interesting thought from Andres Jimenez. Bench is cleared. Bullpen got their cardio in. And Robleski and Glasnow got two big outs to have the threat fall by the wayside after all of that. Then Max Scherzer was lifted from the game after recording one more out in the fifth inning. So Scherzer went 4 1/3. John Schneider turns not to Mason Fluharty for Ohtani. He goes to Louis Varland. And this was the first box-checked ace manager move from John Schneider. Varland did allow Ohtani to single, but he got two humongous outs on flyouts to strand Ohtani and finish the fifth. In the sixth, high-leverage Chris Bassett allowed his first run of the postseason on a sac fly from Tommy Edman to make it 3-2, but he got Miguel Rojas to bounce out to strand two on the base paths. In the sixth, big-time insurance against Tyler Glasnow. Ernie Clement's 29th hit of the postseason tied a Major League record, joining Randy Arozarena in 2020. He had a ninth-inning double to give him the Major League record, 30 hits in a single postseason, but his double in the ninth did break it. He stole second after hit number 29 without a throw from Will Smith. Andres Jimenez, not hitting the hand this time, double to right center to bring him in. In the seventh, protecting a 4-2 advantage, Trey Yesavage came into the game on 2 days rest and walked Shohei Ohtani to open the inning. But after a Will Smith flyout, Yesavage rolled a 3-6-3 double play to end the inning and send that place into an absolute frenzy. Vladdy showed off the howitzer. Jimenez showed off the howitzer on a return throw. Max Muncy smashed a ball to right against Yesavage in the eighth for his third homer of the postseason to effectively chase Trey from the game and make it a 4-3 ball game. And it got Jeff Hoffman into the contest to try and get the final 4 outs. First 2 were fine. But in the ninth, with one away, Miguel Rojas pulled one into the Blue Jay bullpen to knot the game at 4 for his first home run of the postseason and one of the biggest swings in LA Dodger history. Down to their final 2 outs, Miguel Rojas, who is in there for defense and vibes, tied the game with a solo homer. After 2 men reached in the bottom of the ninth against Blake Snell, Dave Roberts turns to our version of Randy Johnson, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, to get the final 2 outs 24 hours removed from a Game 6 win in which he threw just under 100 pitches. I just lost my spot. I found it again. After Alejandro Kirk was hit by a pitch to load the bases, Dalton Varsho bounced one to the backhand of Miguel Rojas, who fired home to pinch off the lead runner for out number 2. And then Ernie Clement came up, who skied one to the warning track in left center field. And Andy Pages did his best Randy Moss impression and effectively stiff-armed his teammate Kike Hernandez, who was trying to play hero ball. And Pages, the defensive replacement that inning from Dave Roberts, made a hell of a play to rob Clement of a walk-off double and send this thing to the 10th. In the 10th inning, the Dodgers loaded the bases with one away, but Sir Anthony Dominguez got Pages to bounce out and Kike Hernandez to bounce out. The Pages one was a fielder's choice at the plate. But in the 11th, Will effing Smith, the best player no casual knows about, drilled his second homer of October into the Blue Jay bullpen to make it 5-4, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto rolled his game-ending double play. The poetic nature of Mookie Betts getting that at shortstop and taking it to the bag himself and firing to Freddie Freeman ended this ball game, and it gave the Dodgers a 5-4 win in 11. They win their second World Series in as many years. They are the first team to win back-to-back World Series since the 98 through 2000 New York Yankees, and they capped off the best game that I've ever had the privilege of watching.
I'm just speechless. Where do we even start?
I don't
I
know.
almost want to start with next year real quick. And I know that sounds crazy, but this team, I think, is very likely to repeat next year because they're going to retain everybody on offense. All those starting pitchers are coming back. But now you get it. Let's see what Tanner Scott looks like next year. He goes back into the Dodgers lab. And if you're doubting the Dodgers lab, Exhibit A, Roki Sasaki. Probably going to come back throwing pretty well next year. Michael Kopech, Brewstar Gratterall. Remember all those problems in the bullpen? Probably won't have that many anymore.
And oh, by the way, they might pay like a Devin or a Helsley or somebody like that.
Yeah, they still got money. They'll probably defer it. And that's going to piss a lot of people off. And I understand. But this team, this organization from top to bottom, from their front office to their owners to the players on the field, is a world-class organization. And I don't want to take anything away from the Dodgers. I just believe this in the bottom of my body, in the core. They didn't play that well and won the World Series against a Blue Jays team that I think is straight up phenomenal. What a win. What a game. What a team. I love this sport so much.
This sport is amazing. The only teams that you can say they won the World Series and they didn't even play to their full potential are dynasties. And
Yeah.
it's funny, like I heard you say that, and that just registered for me that is the way you describe a dynastic era of a Major League Baseball team.
Yep.
Oh, they weren't at full strength. Wait till they get to full strength. But oh, by the way, they still won the World Series.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
On the
And
road.
you could make the argument on the road, yes, in
Get
11
down
innings.
2 games. They got to win both in the Rogers Center.
Yeah. And credit to Toronto. The stars were aligning for Toronto, but you could say the same damn thing. You could say, just wait until they were healthy, or only if they were healthy. Like, what if Bo Bichette didn't have a banged up knee? He probably scores and the Blue Jays win this thing without going to extra innings. What if George Springer isn't playing with a knee made of balsa wood and an oblique made of rubber bands right now?
I like balsa wood. That's a good one.
I mean, there's so many elements of this, and I look at it from Toronto's perspective and I look at it from the Dodger perspective that just make me realize how lucky we are to talk about this and talk about what happened over the course of the last week and a half.
Yeah.
This was a humongous moment globally for sports. This took over a college football Saturday.
Damn right.
Football's king in the United States. Now, YouTube TV kind of fucked that one up personally. But this took over. Nobody was talking about Oklahoma, Tennessee tonight. Was anybody talking about Colorado getting drilled for the second week in a row?
Couldn't give less of a shit.
Nobody cared. They were watching this. And I'm talking about the States right now. We've seen the viewership numbers come in from Canada. They are mind-boggling. We know the numbers in Japan are unfathomable. This was a global win for Major League Baseball. And the fact that we got 2 games like this, we're so lucky. So lucky.
We're getting spoiled here as baseball fans. Let's work through the roundup. You want to do that?
Yeah.
Because I think that'll keep us on track, because you and I could just ramble about all the different things for hours, but this will keep us on pace. Let's do it.
Sure. Yes. Okay. Yes, I am ready. I'm pulling it up right now. Okay. So first element of this, early chances for Toronto that fell by the wayside against Ohtani. Springer not really knowing what he was doing on the base pads in the first inning. And then in the second inning, Bichette on the bad knee, not being able to test Teoscar Hernandez, bases loaded. Ohtani punches out Jimenez, gets out of the jam. Blue Jays controlled this game offensively through the front third.
Oh, yeah. And Ohtani clearly was not on. And I think it's one thing to say a pitcher's on 3 days rest and he might not have had it. We know Shohei Ohtani's hitting and, running the bases too. So, you tack all of that on. And I feel like you could tell from the first pitch to George Springer, that curveball that went way out of the zone. And then on the 1-0 pitch, threw another curveball that wasn't even close. And you could just tell he wasn't feeling right. And it's totally understandable because we got to remember, even though he never acts like it, this is a human being. It's still a human being at the end of the day who has played an entire season, started pitching at the end of the season, threw, I think, 50 innings, throws through the playoffs. And just in the last game, you could tell he's just kind of ran out of gas. But he still gave his team a chance. And really, his one big mistake was that pitch to Bo Bichette, right? If he makes a better pitch there, we might have been talking about an easy Dodgers win. You never know, right?
Yeah.
Because the Blue Jays only ended up with 4 runs in this game. That was their 3-run shot. That was their big home run. So while we didn't get a vintage Ohtani game where he's pitching and hitting and, hitting home runs, and he still had a pretty good damn day at the plate, right? It would be understandable if he let that bad pitching performance seep over into his ABs.
Yep.
But the guy is a human, but he's also part cyborg, and he didn't, and still put up good at-bats to end it too. But yeah, this was a game where, Jack, if I told you Max Scherzer is going to pitch into the 5th inning and allow 1 run, and Ohtani's going to give up 3 and get bounced early, you would say the Blue Jays win that game 99 out of 100 times.
Of course.
Especially with how the Dodgers offense is looking. But that just speaks to the Dodgers' greatness.
Yeah.
That in a game like this, they never wavered. You never felt that. And Miguel Rojas had that big hit. But again, let's work through the game here. I just can't believe they won. I can't believe they won this game.
I know.
With that happening at the beginning.
Everything about this game says Blue Jay victory. Everything.
Everything.
There were innings, the bottom of the 9th, that screamed Blue Jay victory. And it just didn't happen. The Dodgers win back-to-back World Series.
Vladdy with that great diving play to save a run.
Everything was coming up Blue Jays. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't.
Yep.
But
and that points to the Dodgers. That's why they are the best team in baseball, and it's not that close. Even when they don't have a good series, when they hit below 200, they can still go on the road and beat you twice.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Blue Jays played poorly. Yes, were there missed opportunities? Of course. They didn't play flawless
and we just talked about the Springer one in the first. Like, it was just, I have no idea what he saw there. Do they score a run? I don't know. But
my guess is he just assumed Vladdy was not going to punch out. That was just premier confidence in his guy at the plate. And he was like, I'm just going to start running. And then you could see he was shocked that Vladdy ended up striking out. He was almost confused. Not that he got thrown out. He was confused that Vladdy struck out in the first place. And with how well Vladdy hit this series and with how few times he strikes out, right? We see all those records. If you follow our Twitter page, you've seen all the graphics. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the first player since freaking Babe Ruth to only strike out once or anything. So I understand why he felt confused in the moment. Can't happen. I'm not giving him a pass. Can't happen. But at the same time, I get it. Don't you?
Yeah. I do. I get it to a certain extent. There's one that I'm still scratching my head about, and we'll get to that. But the next thing that we get to talk about is the Bichette homer. That Bichette homer with the crowd pop coupled with it was one of the coldest moments that we have in our baseball lives. I'm 27 years old. You just turned 28, or you're about to turn 28?
December 3rd.
Okay, there you go. Happy early birthday. We're a month out. Do you celebrate a birthday month, or is it a birthday week, or is it just a birthday?
The 28th birthday, I'll be lucky to get a good dinner.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So we're 27 years old. That was one of the moments of our baseball life.
Mm-hmm.
That was, I think about that Kevin Durant Gatorade commercial. I'm not talking about who's the best. I'm talking about who's the baddest. Like bad, like black coffee, bad like a hailstorm. That was a bad moment from Bo Bichette where he drilled it. He knew it was gone. Everybody in that ballpark knew it was gone. And he stared it down. It was a vicious bat flip, but it was controlled. And he took his damn time. He gives Vladdy a hug. He soaked in the moment. He soaked in the magnitude of what he just did. And he obliterated a baseball against Babe Ruth. There were so many elements of that one swing that I was like, you're just a bad MF dude right now.
You know who immediately came to mind when he hit that home run? Because I love how you broke it down. It was so cold-blooded, but it was so controlled. It wasn't this crazy emotion popping out of him, which would have been totally understandable in the moment and would have also fired me up. But this was a different type of dog. It reminded me of when Damian Lillard hits those threes and just kind of points at his wrist and says, it's Dame time, or like a Derrick Rose game winner where these guys are just, they're right here. It's flat face. It's just a glaring stare of, I'm the baddest MFer on the planet. What are you going to do about it?
Yes.
442 with one knee off Ohtani. What are you going to do about it? And the Dodgers did something about it, though.
They did do something about it, but that moment in particular was just exceptional. And that was one of those swings that makes you love this game and makes you love what this type of game in that moment can do for you as a sports fan. Like, it reinvigorates what you had when you were 10.
Yep.
I mentioned it in game one. Like, that game reverted me back to 10-year-old diehard baseball fan Jack. This one had moments where it reverted me back to diehard 10-year-old baseball fan Jack.
I'm watching this game by myself because my fiance is in New York right now. I'm watching it by myself on the couch, and I'm talking out loud at the TV and like shrieking. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what's coming out of my mouth right now? Like, I am a different human being.
Right.
Like, I felt like a little kid. Like, I felt like, oh, wait, can we rewind the clock back to October 31st so I can go trick-or-treating with the kids? That's how it felt. It's the baseball fandom that just shoots. And we have no rooting interest.
No.
Like, I'm a Yankee fan. You're the Marlins radio guy. But the battle that this was is why, and I've even said this on TikTok Lives too, like, I like baseball more than I like the Yankees. I do.
Fair.
I love this sport more than just about anything. So for the battle back and forth, knowing how good the Blue Jays are, knowing how good the Dodgers are, knowing what happened in game 3, seeing everything that happened in this series so far, how close it's been, how many just like insane battles there have been, to cap it off, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Just amazing.
By
the way, on that point, I saw this comment from our guy AP on YouTube. Which loss do you think hurts more, Yankee fans last year or Blue Jays fans this year? Like, which one hurts more? Honestly, I think it's a pretty clear answer. This one, you were so damn close. The Yankees, it was game 5. I understand that it was a gut punch in that 5th inning. Watching it unravel against Cole had to be tough.
Here's how it's different. Here's how it's different.
Sure.
The way I felt was pure anger because the errors, the blown 5-run lead, the walk-off grand slam, I think Yankee fans felt a collective anger, and I think Blue Jays fans, it's a collective depression, sadness. So I think it hurts in different ways. Like, your team gets to the World Series and they just shit down their pants versus get all the way to game 7, 11th inning and get your heart ripped out. So I think they're different feelings.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be pissed than have this feeling of disappointment and what could have been.
And especially in 5, so it's like shorter and you just get punched in the mouth.
No, Band-Aid got ripped off. Like, you got knocked out in the second round last year. Like, this is you go to a split decision after 10 rounds.
Yeah, this is, would you rather get hit in the head with a bat or would you rather get tiny stabs to the abdomen for an hour?
I think just hitting the head. Like, if you promise me that I'm waking up and I'm good, I think just hitting the head.
Exactly, and that's the Yankees' loss. We just got smacked over the top with a hammer versus just like getting jabbed in the side, but like it doesn't hurt that bad, but it keeps cutting you, and it's like, just infuriating. I feel so bad for Blue Jays fans right now. I really do.
I know.
That is just the worst. That is the worst. And for Dodger fans, this is the best. This is the absolute best.
Yeah. Continuing on in this ball game, the defensive mastery at the top of the 4th, the Varsho diving catch to keep it at a sac fly for Teoscar Hernandez, and then the diving catch by Vlad Jr. just a little bit later to end that inning. the Blue Jays showed up, and I saw, I think it was Nugget Chef tweet this out, who does good work on the Baseball is Dead podcast.
He's hilarious. I love his
He's very funny.
Yeah.
He said he had like this weird anti-Kyle Stowers thing going on around the All-Star break, and I was like, that's a little bizarre. But aside from that, he's great, and I'm all about it.
That's a weird beef to have.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
What did he do?
He's also awesome. He's just a good dude.
So
it's like, all right.
He got hurt too. Like, he just had a good year. Whatever.
It was weird. It was weird. Continuing. He said, it's cool to see his fingerprints all over this game defensively. Like, Vlad has had such an amazing postseason. He's had such an amazing World Series. And we talk about what he's done offensively, but there have been moments over the course of this postseason where we say Vlad can really pick it. Vlad is a good defender at this point.
Yes.
And dude, in the World Series, he showed it in several different ball games, and he showed it in Game 7 on several occasions. The BB over to second base to start that double play for you, Savage, but that diving catch, dude, that was an amazing play from Vlad Jr. The Jays can defend, man, and that's never going away for Varsho. It's never going away for Vlad at this point. It's just really cool that they have that, and they know they have that in 26 and moving forward.
And that's why if I'm a Dodgers fan right now, I got to feel on top of the world, because the Blue Jays not only played a great game in this series, right, in Game 7, but they were such a sound team from top to bottom. You were going to have to beat them. They were not really going to beat themselves. Obviously, is the Alejandro Kirk double play beating themselves? Any of the mistakes at the plate? Like, not really. I think that's just more baseball. Like, I think of beating yourself like Anthony Rizzo and Garrett Cole and stuff like that. Like Aaron Judge dropping the ball. Like, that's beating yourself. You knew the Blue Jays weren't going to beat themselves. You had to beat them. Yeah. And they beat them.
Yes.
Like the Vladdy diving play, the Varsho diving play, the Bichette home run, even the Ernie Clement shot to left field at the end. Annie Paz going to get it. You had to beat them, and you did, back-to-back times in the Rogers Center. So we're saying these nice things about the Blue Jays. That should make you feel even better about this. This wasn't, oh, well, you just faced the Blue Jays. Like, and you went all the way to 7. You're not really that good. No. You just beat an amazing team, a sound team. No weaknesses throughout. They don't strike out. They play good defense. They run the bases well. They have good starters. The bullpen was really great throughout, and you beat them.
And you won. You didn't. Won. They didn't lose. You won. You won this ball game. There were points where you could make the argument the Jays put themselves in a position to be susceptible, but it was never the Jays lost this game. It was the Dodgers won. The Jays just didn't deliver the kill shot when they could have. Yep. The next piece of the ball game that we got to talk about is the Andres Jimenez hit by pitch that cleared the dugout and the bullpen.
We're going to be not on the same page on this one. I just know.
Are you not on the same page?
I loved it. I don't care. I know it's eyewash. Like, kind of like.
No, I mean, for the theater, yes. But like, who's being soft as hell in that moment?
I mean, like, of course, us watching on the couch, we can point at him and be like, "You're soft, you're soft."
Brother, they are in the middle prior, of Game 7. He took his hand off the handle and threw it trying to get hit on the hand.
I know. It was a horrible
There's no defending Andres Jimenez in this moment. There's zero defending him. Robleski, I don't blame Robleski at all. The number of F-bombs that Robleski dropped in like a 10-second snippet there that we got on camera, him talking to Jimenez, was amazing, because it's like, brother, it's Game 7 of the World Series. I'm a rookie. We're down by 2. Do you think I'm trying to do this right now?
All I'm saying, there was 3 up and in pitches. And in a Game 7 environment where tensions are as high as humanly possible, you might have a moment where you're like, what the hell? And that's what he did. He looked at Robleski and was like, what the hell? And then Robleski had a very reasonable reaction. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, of course I'm not trying to hit you. And then they go. So, yes, if this was a regular season on a Wednesday, I would have a very different tone. But this is Game 7. You just saw 3 up and in, and you might have a reaction like that just in the moment. I bet if you ask Andres Jimenez, he's going to say, yeah, I probably shouldn't have reacted like that. But do I understand the human element of having a visceral reaction in a moment like that, where 40,000 fans are screaming, you're at home trying to win a ball game? I get it. Was it eyewash? Shouldn't he have done it? Probably. Was I entertained? Absolutely, I was.
I go the absolute other way. I think random game in July, Jimenez, it's actually valid if they keep on coming high and tight. It's like, oh, I'm missing this. But in Game 7 of the World Series, if that's your blue zone, if that is your deficiency, then like he's going to try and exploit that. This is left on left. He's going to try and get a heater up and in on you. You just threw your hand at the previous pitch, and now you're bitching and moaning about getting hit on the hand. Also, I'm with Smoltz on this one. The bullpen's running in for just cardio purposes is the single dumbest thing that we have in this game. And we've just been lauding how much we love this sport. The bullpen's jogging in for a conversation is so stupid. I cannot wrap my brain around the fact that bullpens still do that.
I hope it happens every single time.
It's so brutal.
It's so funny. Like, it's so stupid and funny. And at the end of the day, I am here to be entertained. Was that one of the more entertaining? It's a different kind of entertaining.
You know what it is? It's me picking a fight with somebody that's 6'6", 250. They chirp at me, and then I get behind you and say, hold me back. Oh, I'm going to get him. Hold me back. And then you've got somebody else walk up and be like, what's up, bro? Like,
and yet
they are the what's up, bro of the group.
And everyone's going to watch on the street because they want to see what's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
all I'm saying is
you're right. Like the rubbernecking that takes place in that type of situation on the street is like very good. Yes. So I understand that like we are effectively the rubberneckers for that.
We are. And I'm turning my head. Why do people, when they're in traffic, take a look at the accident which causes traffic? People are just entertained by these things. And at the end of the day, this is sports. I was entertained.
Yeah,
I had a good time. I was glad he did it. I wanted him to throw a punch. I even said it in our Discord, John Schneider, stop trying to calm everybody down. Throw a punch. Why not? Let's get after it. I hate to say it, but I am a proponent of violence when it comes to the in-game fight.
So like you loved the Amir Garrett fights.
Loved it.
Okay.
Jose Ramirez, Tim Anderson. I love every second of it. Every second of it.
Got you.
We should institute some of those rules from hockey.
Tommy Pham is barking back. Yeah.
Give it to me. I love all of it. I don't care. People can call it eyewash on the internet. And like, I get where they're coming from, but I don't care. I like it. And that's okay with me.
We ain't taking that from the Brewers. Next thing we got to talk about here is John Schneider's mastery of the fifth inning. I thought this was the highlight of his night. Scherzer coming out, getting that first out of the fifth inning, and not going to Fluharty for the sake of overexposing Fluharty to Ohtani, instead going to Louis Varland. All reliable here. I know Varland has seen everybody a billion times, but Varland is a better reliever than Mason Fluharty is at this point. As we sit here and chat on Sunday, November 2nd now, because it's 1:02 in the morning, in 2025, Louis Varland is a better pitcher than Mason Fluharty. So Schneider in that moment decided, you know what? I'm not going to go attack the lefty-lefty thing. I'm just going to trust my guy to finish off this fifth inning.
Loved it.
And he wanted to save Fluharty for later, or he didn't want to overexpose Fluharty to Ohtani, and it worked. I know Ohtani singled, but Varland got two big outs after that. That was a big fifth inning for John Schneider.
I got nothing to add there. I think you broke it down exactly. I totally agree with you.
Yeah. High leverage Bassett, allowing the run to Tommy Edman to make it 3-2. But Miguel Rojas bounced out to strand two on the base paths. I didn't have any takeaways from that Bassett inning other than like he's human. He's not a robot that has a billion different pitches.
I had to be honest. I was a little bit sad because I was loving the Chris Bassett high leverage, just throwing heaters. Even in game 6, you know, his usage was like 45% four-seamer, 35% cutter, 25% two-seamer, just fastballs. And I just, 36-year-old on the mound against the Dodgers in high leverage, just throwing heaters that aren't like 100 miles an hour. I was obsessed with high leverage Chris Bassett. So part of me died watching Bassett get hit a little bit.
I got you. I'm going to clump Ernie Clement's ninth inning double into this, but Clement singled, stole a base, came in to score on a Jimenez double. Ernie Clement had 30 hits this postseason. That is a major league record. Now, these major league records in terms of counting stats are a little skewed because we're playing more postseason games now than we ever have before. But to acknowledge Ernie Clement and what he's done, by the way, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is now third on that all-time leaderboard. It goes Ernie Clement in 25 at 30 hits, 2020 Randy Arozarena at 29.
Yeah.
And then you've got 2025 Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at 28. These guys did it without the use of a wild card series. I mean, they were playing 2-3 fewer games than any team that could play the maximum number of postseason games. It's still skewed because the DS, the CS, and the World Series is still more games than anybody from yesteryear played. But this was an all-time hit accumulation postseason from Ernie Clement. Jimenez delivered like 4 different times in this month. He at points like kept the Jays alive against Seattle, and he kept them alive in this one too, and it was a huge insurance run for them. So credit to Jimenez. I know I just dunked on him for a little bit, but credit to Jimenez on the double. Ernie Clement played out of his freaking mind for a month.
You know what those 3 players all have in common?
What?
They all lost to the Dodgers.
Oh, Randy and 20 did? Yeah, and then these two.
This team.
Giant Slayers.
Throw whatever you wanted them. We don't even have to play well. God, they're good.
Yeah.
God, they're good. Oh, my gosh.
Savage's appearance in this game. Savage got that huge double play in the 7th, but in the 8th, it was the home run he allowed to Muncy to make it a 1-run ball game. What did you make of Savage tonight?
Didn't think he looked great.
Yeah.
I just thought that splitter was kind of floating. And I think when Savage is on, that thing just drops completely on the table. And it looked a little bit like, I think, right, he threw game 1, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, it's so late at night. I think he threw game 1 of the World Series.
Savage threw game 1. Yeah.
Yeah. And when the Dodgers got 4 innings, 2 hits, or 2 runs against him, like, it just looked like he was tired. It looked like he was gassed and he was trying to give it, his all. And I said it kind of immediately. It looked different. And credit to him for battling through it.
Yeah.
But you're 22 years old. You're getting put in situations that only all-time legends get put in, pitching this much in a World Series against the Dodgers, creating some pretty damn good memories for him for the rest of his career. He might never have these type of memories ever again.
Yeah.
And you could just tell he was giving it all he had, but he didn't look like the guy who twirled that incredible performance just a few games prior.
The Miguel Rojas home run is next in the top of the 9th. That was one of the clutchest things that I've really ever seen. The fact that it was him, like he was sandwiched by guys that it made more sense for. Kike Hernandez, he loves October. He shines in October. Shohei Ohtani's Babe Ruth. Miguel Rojas is not supposed to be up in those situations. I was sitting here in group text and in the Discord calling for pinch hitters. I was like, Miguel Rojas cannot hit in the 9th inning of Game 7 of the World Series, down by a run.
And he take
credit Dave Roberts, but credit Miguel Rojas more?
I don't think I'm going to credit Dave Roberts
That's
there.
Fine. Yeah.
Because I don't know who you're even going to on the bench where you feel really good, like Hyesung
maybe
Kim.
Call. Yeah, like Call was available at that time.
You're rolling with your guy who's played great defense for you, and you give him a shot, and he takes a slider. And I actually turned off the TV right kind of as he was starting his post-game presser, but the one line I heard is, I was not trying to hit a home run. Like, he was just trying to get something going, and a veteran like that slows his heartbeat down and knows just make good contact and see what happens. And he takes a slider and parks it in left field. And I'm just thinking about the Blue Jays fan who probably caught that ball just like the worst. Just
right, like that
ball
is,
headed in your direction. And like
you never throw that one back because you put that on eBay and you're gonna make an absolute killing. But like, I want to throw that ball back if I get it.
You want to throw that ball back, and you just saw an entire country fall to their knees. And Miguel Rojas did it.
It felt like the Dodgers were up at that time.
A team loaded with stars from top to bottom, $350 million payroll with plenty of it deferred.
Yeah.
And Miguel freaking Rojas. And we've said it so many times on the show, but there's so many moments that just make me appreciate baseball because anything could happen at any given time. We don't have a shot clock. We don't have, a clock at all. You got to get all 27. And you think Jeff Hoffman was worried in that moment?
I don't think so. I think he was probably pitching with no
fear.
fear to Rojas. He's probably already thinking about Ohtani next.
Already thinking about Ohtani. He's like, all right, I'll just throw a slider. I'll probably roll over or something. And Rojas didn't miss it.
No. 105 off the bat. It was not a cheapie.
I mean, he can retire tomorrow, and he's never paying for a beer in LA for the rest of his life.
Ever. The next thing that we got to talk about is the bottom of the ninth inning. Snell puts two guys on with one away. Dave Roberts turns to Yamamoto, who, again, 24 hours prior had given him a great start, was the pitcher of record on the winning side in Game 6 through 96 pitches, and comes back, and he fires the next 2 2/3 for the LA Dodgers. Yamamoto's presence is something that we already talked about, and we can talk about a little bit more if we want. But the thing that got me was out number 2 in that inning. It was a forced play at the plate. And Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who came on as a pinch runner for Bo Bichette, was caught at the plate. And it was close. It was a bang-bang play. But I saw Jake Mintz of Cespedes Family Barbecue tweet out the freeze frame of where IKF was when that ball was put in play. There was like no secondary lead. It was one of the worst jumps I've ever seen.
Yep.
That is a massive, massive mistake from Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Biggest mistake that the Jays made this game. What are you doing? He was out by an inch. An inch. With
and
zero secondary lead. He was 2 steps off the bag. What are you doing?
It's funny. Some offensive coordinators, like I know Andy Kotelnicki at Penn State has said this. You can win pre-snap. You can win in between snaps. That felt like a loss pre-snap. That felt like they just set up poorly and they executed terribly. Like the execution was fine, but it was the setup that was horrible. The execution was okay. 99 times out of 100, somebody that runs as fast as Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is scoring there.
Yep.
But the setup to that, I don't know if he was asleep at the wheel. I have no idea what was going on in his mind, and I would love to hear his thought on that. The Blue Jays should have won the game in the bottom of the ninth on that, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa had the worst read given the context that I think I've ever seen.
And that's why it's a difficult play to break down, because we have no answers. There is no reason.
I need to hear him talk about it.
There is no reason for him to be 2 steps off the bag and have no secondary lead. There is no reason for that. It's not like you're getting ready to tag. Even if you had a larger league, you could still go back and tag on a fly ball. There was absolutely no reason for that to happen. And it did. And what makes it even worse, he wasn't out by a few steps where it's like, oh, we could be Monday morning quarterback and like, oh, if he got a perfect lead, maybe he would have scored. No, we absolutely know. If he got a regular lead, he's scoring and the Blue Jays win the World Series. Yeah. Point blank, period. That's why it's hard to break down, because there's no reason for it. Anyone who's played baseball in Little League would tell you that. Down to T-ball.
Yeah.
Do they get leads in T-ball? Maybe not T-ball.
I think you got leads. No, you don't get leads in T-ball, but like you can start taking off, I think. But down to Little League, you get secondary leads. You're taught secondary leads very, very early. And I just don't know like why he was refraining from that. I understand the fear of being backpicked in that moment, but that was the one glaring mistake to me.
Yeah.
And it sucks because that guy has given them a bunch of good moments. And I know he's bounced kind of back and forth with Pittsburgh and all that stuff over the last couple of years. But IKF, that was the one inexcusable thing. And again, I want to heap so much credit on the Blue Jays for hanging around, being tough. And it did feel like the Dodgers won this baseball game, but that was the one moment tonight where I felt like the Blue Jays lost.
And the Dodgers just smelled blood in the water.
Yep. And they pounced. Do you have any takeaways from the 10th? I mean, that was Varsho bouncing one to Miguel Rojas, backhand. He gets a runner at the plate. I didn't really like Yamamoto. Good job with the tightrope act. In the 11th, the Will Smith homer.
I got to be completely honest with you. When Ohtani got out before him, I said, all right, we'll move on to the next inning. And it didn't really have anything to do with Will Smith, the player, because we know that Will Smith can change the game with a swing at any given time.
Got a 10-year deal. Yeah.
But in the moment, it just felt like this game's going to the 16th again. Yeah. Like we're just going to keep, because Bieber threw a perfect pitch to Ohtani in on his hands, perfect cutter. And the previous pitch in the last at-bat to Miguel Rojas got it done. Or was it Miguel Rojas? Who was hitting ninth that inning before it got to Ohtani?
Will Smith or Rojas. Yeah.
Rojas, yes, it is. So he gets Rojas, gets Bieber, and I'm like, oh, or gets Ohtani, excuse me. I'm like, oh, he's going to this is Shane Bieber right now, who already had a pretty damn good performance against the Dodgers. Like, he's going to start rolling. His command is pinpoint. And then Will Smith. And it's what makes the Dodgers great is truly, I mean, in this game, right? We kind of skipped over it. Max Muncy, big home run and a big base hit. Like, all the Dodgers needed was just a couple of their stars to get their heads out of their asses.
Yep.
And Muncy hits that big home run. And then Will Smith, he's had some big hits. But I would say largely I've been a little bit disappointed in him offensively.
It was just his second homer of the postseason.
Exactly. Like, for his standards, right? Like, we think so highly of him. We think of him as the second best catcher in baseball and truly one of the top 15, 20 hitters in the game. Yeah. Right. And the numbers would back that up this season, put up a 150 WRC plus. So to see him kind of struggle, you're thinking to yourself, all right, Ohtani just got out. I even said in our Discord, I was like, here comes the Will Smith flyout. That was no flyout.
No flyout.
What a home run. What a moment. And you just, and it's like the Dodgers even handled it differently. Like, when they came back in the dugout, they were incredibly excited, but they knew this game wasn't over. That just speaks to their experience.
Yes.
Where, all right, good, we got the lead, but we got to close this thing out. Like, we're not great. Come back in the dugout. We'll give you our high fives. Let's lock back into this game. This is not over. And that's just what the Dodgers are. Is that in any given moment, a guy like Will Smith hitting second in between a future Hall of Famer and quite possibly the greatest player of all time, he's the one that hits the home run. And that's what makes the Dodgers special, is they have guys like that in between Hall of Famers.
Yes. The other thing that I mistakenly jumped over was the Pages catch on the warning track in left center with Kike like kind of barreling towards that ball. That was in the bottom of the ninth to send us to extras, and that could have very well won the Blue Jays the World Series there. Ernie Clement hit it out the warning track. Everybody was playing very in. Kike was sprinting back. He was never going to make that play.
Never. Ever.
So I'm a little surprised. And, that place was probably at a fever pitch, and you couldn't hear yourself think. So I bet he didn't even hear Pages calling him off.
He's not
Pages
sprinting.
Pages' reckless abandon going into a vet like that. That was stones defensively, and that guy is an amazing defensive outfielder. Andy Pages had a really bad month of October.
Yeah.
Really bad. Offensively. Defensively, that guy is going to have a job for a long time.
Yep.
Offensively, we know he's a hell of a lot better than what he showed in the month of October.
Can we also give him a little bit of a pass? The guy's 24 years old.
Of course.
He has so much baseball in front of him, and also 2 years in the league, 2 chips.
Yes. He also just got himself, I mean, he became a big part of this story with that catch. Like, Absolutely. He absolved a lot of bad offensively with that one catch.
And that's what Game 7 can do. If you deliver in the biggest moment, you can right a lot of those wrongs. Mookie Betts struggled so much, but that hit in Game 6, right to drive in 2, Dodger fans are like, you're good, Mookie.
Yeah.
And Andy Pages had the single worst postseason in MLB history by the numbers offensively. But he comes in, defensive replacement, doesn't let that bother him. And I hate to keep comparing it to other sports, but I will just tell you what it reminded me of like Calvin Johnson catching a Hail Mary in the end zone over a couple of defenders.
Sure.
Just leaping to grab that baseball.
If that
not only in that moment, you got 40,000 people screaming at you. You see out of the corner of your eye, your left fielder, Kike Hernandez, on a dead sprint, and he's running back like he's going to have to make a basket catch. So you know that he doesn't see you, and you have to make a split-second decision. Am I going to let Kike go for it, or am I going to go for it? And he does, and he makes this leaping, fantastic catch from, I mean, that was a long way away that he had to
really
run.
Long way.
He glided through the outfield to go get that. What a play. Again, what a moment. This game had so many moments. It's like, even in a great playoff game, we get 3 or 4. This game had 40. It was just every inning. We saw something that you just don't see very often. And that was a catch where you don't see. And he made it.
Andy Pages covered 123 feet on that one, and he got up to 29.2 feet per second.
I mean, that's
He was flying, and he covered so much ground.
That's why he was the defensive replacement. And that's,
Yeah.
again, another button press by Dave Roberts that you just have to tip your cap to.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, Dave Roberts was not loved by Dodger fans for a very long time.
No.
Dave Roberts.
It was very similar to what we talk about with Boone right now. Like, we were having that Dave Roberts conversation. I feel like even going into last year,
Yeah.
It's like, are you? I mean, in a place where it is World Series or bust, you've only won one in 10 years, and it was the COVID shortened season. I feel like, and I know Dave Roberts talked about it. He talked about his level of respect for Aaron Boone because he's the only guy that understands what Boone feels from Yankee fans. If you don't win the World Series, you failed as a manager, and you're going to be on the hot seat. It's the head coach at Ohio State. It's the head coach at Alabama. It's the head coach at Texas. If you do not get there, you're going to get screamed at. And that's Boone's existence. And that was Dave Roberts' existence until last year when he finally won that 1/162. And now that he's won back-to-back, that guy is getting his number retired in LA. He is maybe the best manager the Dodgers have ever had.
Damn.
Think about it. Rich history of the Dodgers, but
yeah, we'd have to go back through the record books to see if that. But I mean,
yeah, I don't think that's crazy. He's been to the postseason every single year he's been at the helm. I think he's won the division all but one, maybe every year he's been at the helm.
And also, like, I totally understand the comparison to Boone in terms of the media attention, the way the fans treat him. But at the end of the day, he's got 3 chips and Boone's got 0.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line.
Hate to tie it back to Boone.
Yeah.
Last thing we got to talk about in kind of the game sequence by sequence thing is the double play to end the World Series and Mookie grabbing that and Yamamoto being on the hill to finish the job. Yamamoto finishing the job is probably the coldest thing that we've had on the mound in a very, very long time. 2 2/3, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, and 1 punch out. Yamamoto, 34 pitches, 21 for strikes. This is a continuation of the dominance that we saw in Game 2 and Game 6, and that is why he was the World Series MVP, and that's why he's probably the 3rd best pitcher in baseball going into next year.
His first pitch of this shortened outing in the bullpen, 93-mile-an-hour splitter. And I said, all right, okay, what is this human being? Is it a human being? What are you? Where did you come from? Did you come from a meteorite that just hit down and they had some weird cells on a rock and they put you in a test tube and then just made you?
And then you spawned.
How are you doing this, dude? Like, you aren't. I get it. Randy Johnson is like the last one to do it. That's a 6'10" lefty who's already throwing 99 miles an hour, who just has out of the world stuff in a spot in baseball where 90 miles an hour was great.
Think about that. That was 24 years ago, and it's Randy Johnson. Randy Johnson might be a top 3 pitcher of all time.
And this was just as impressive. I mean, this was, and again, I want to give the Blue Jays and the Dodgers credit at the same time. For him to do it against that offense, back-to-back nights at the Rogers Center, makes what is already historic even more impressive. I just can't believe that he did it. I can believe it because I know how good he is, but I can't believe it. I can't believe that a guy who threw 6 innings the day before, who had thrown a complete game before that, was able to complete it in the end and get that ground ball double play from Alejandro Kirk, who battles and battles and battles. Best hitter with 2 strikes. Rarely makes a mistake. And he just got him to ground out. And with Kirk's speed at 5'8", 265, he ain't beating that out. Mookie could have took his time. He could have touched the bag and then ran it to first.
Possibly.
To go get Alejandro Kirk. And I'm sorry, Alejandro Kirk, but it was a weird moment I did feel in the moment, because I said to myself, I feel so bad for both Alejandro Kirk and the Blue Jays and all of their fans. And I'm so in awe of Yamamoto at the same time.
Yeah.
It was like a weird, wait a minute, how do I feel? It's almost like both of you brought me back to neutral. Does that make sense?
That's kind of where I was too, where I was like, oh, it's over now. Okay. My first thought was, shit, it's already over.
Yeah, what?
to be
Like,
totally
I thought
honest,
this game was going 15 innings.
I thought the final out was going to have so much more drama than it did, and the fact that it was a 2-for-1 special is a testament to Yamamoto, because that guy is one of the best buzz kills in baseball. Skeens, like, it's funny because Skeens and Skubal, they generate testosterone, they generate energy on their own.
Crochet.
Crochet. Yamamoto has that, not to the level that those guys do, because it's just high octane. I'm going to shove 100 by you. Yamamoto can run it up to 97, 98 miles an hour, but he is, and I mean this in such a nice way. This should be the ultimate compliment. He's the best buzzkill that we have in the sport. I mean, he is. You talk about Ranger Suarez, blinking it's the 7th. Him and Christopher Sanchez, to me, are the kings of, you're just not going to beat me today. I'm just going to be better than you, and I'm going to make this a boring game.
And I saw a tweet before the game started that Yamamoto will be available, because at the press conference yesterday, Dave Roberts said he's not going to be available. So why did that change?
Because
Yamamoto went up to him
said
and said
something.
I'm pitching. Do you understand me? If there is an opportunity, I am getting in this ballgame. And what's Dave Roberts going to say to his golden goose? No, of course you're coming in this ballgame. I also want to shout out Blake Snell, because Blake Snell came in this ballgame and did a job as well. Right? It wasn't exactly the prettiest, but he got it done too.
Yeah.
Tyler Glasnow, again, not the prettiest, but did a job. Ohtani made one mistake. Got to give credit to these Dodgers pitchers too, and that's what got them here.
And
right?
that again is a testament to Dave Roberts, who decided to deviate from his bullpen plan. He could have gone drier, and I know Sheehan got into the game, but like, shit, he could have gone Treinen. He could have tried the Roki thing again.
No, if he went Treinen and Treinen blew it, he might have gotten fired.
I'm with you. But the fact that he was comfortable actually pulling the trigger and deploying all 4 starting pitchers in Game 7, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just an incredible game. And I'm sure we're probably going to have a show coming out Monday.
I think so.
Tomorrow?
I think Tuesday.
Yeah.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to take Sunday off, just kind of recalibrate, and then we're going to do best of the postseason on Tuesday.
Or we would go live on YouTube on Monday?
On Monday, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll take Sunday off. I mean, it is already Sunday. It's Sunday, November 2nd as we're talking.
Yeah.
What a game. What an incredible win by the Dodgers. And if I'm a Dodger fan, like, this one feels, I don't know.
I think it feels better. I think it feels better
because you didn't even play your best. And I'm telling you, going into next year, they are the prohibitive favorites.
Oh, it's them versus the field.
Nobody's even touching them right now, because without doing anything, they're better.
Yeah.
Without doing a thing, because they're going to get all those bullpen arms back, and it's the same lineup.
Yeah.
And all they needed was Muncy to get a couple of hits, to get his head out of his ass, was a Will Smith bomb, a couple timely hits, and they beat the Blue Jays in the Rogers Center in 2 straight games to win their 2nd consecutive World Series, the first time since the 1998, 1999, and 2000 Yankees. Let's see if you three-peat now. Wow. I'll probably be picking you to do it. I mean, this team. Can we also say I won a boatload of money?
Sure. Yeah. Congratulations.
Huge. That's all I want to say. It's just
that's
happy.
big.
Just happy.
Take us out, baby. No show on Monday. It will hit your podcast feed on Tuesday at midnight, but we're going to go live on Monday afternoon with the best of the postseason. That's what we'll do.
Thank you to everybody who has joined us, especially tonight on YouTube. I know it's wee into the hours of the morning. Thank you guys again. And before you leave, you can just smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe. We're going to have so much great offseason content. I can't wait to break down so many things. Playing GM episodes are back. Plenty of interviews. Best of the postseason. So much stuff. Winter meetings, rumors, the whole 9. You're going to find it here on the Just Baseball Show. And I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who has supported us this season. What a year. So many people to thank just on our staff too. I want to do them justice doing it here at 12:30 in the morning. I'm not going to be able to do
1:30 Eastern.
Yeah,
East Coast
1:30
supremacy.
Eastern. Just want to send such a big thank you again to the listeners of the show. You're the reason we do it. And if you have been enjoying the show, again, the best way to support, rate and review, Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you could leave a written review, tell us your favorite part of the season. It'd be so cool to go through those reviews and see people from different parts of the country, even out of the country, talk about their favorite parts of the show or the season or whatever. And of course, if you want to get yourself some Just Baseball merch, support the program, you can find this. And that'll do it. For Jack McMullen, I'm Peter Apple. Congratulations to the 2025 World Series champion Dodgers. And with that, thank you, everybody.